So today, what I'm doing is working on the King Arkletiel's costume. I have this toga that was originally a bright red, and I need it to be a darker brown. And so what I have here is a bucket of hot water mixed with brown dye. I've already dyed this once, so we're going to go for the second dyeing of it. And I'm just going to stick it in the brown dye. This was a blade from one of our practice swords that we demolished in our training. And I'm just basically going to slowly tap this down so that all of it is submerged in the dye solution. Then I'm going to let that sit and rest, and I'll be back. Okay, so now that this is done soaking, we will take the costume out of the dye. Make sure you wring it out really good, because the dye is really messy and it will drip all over everything, and which is part of the reason I'm out in my green screen studio doing this and not in the house. Because I don't want to get the dye on the floor. So now that looks about right. So now I will take that and go put that in the washing machine, let it soak in the dye, and then come back, throw it in the dryer, dry it, and should have my finished piece. All right. So another piece of the King Arkletiel's costume was the cloak or cape, and I bought this from Medieval Collectibles. It was originally one of the 300 cloaks, and it came as a much brighter red, and I didn't want the bright 300 red, and so what I did was I dyed it, and I put it through a single dyeing to darken it and actually dirty it up a bit. Because when you see him with this at the beginning of the film, he's in the middle of battle, and so the cloak would be dirty and grungy, and I needed that dirty look, and so I dyed it. I would warn you, when you ever take a piece of costume and you're going to dye it, be very careful, because all it takes is one mistake, and now you have a piece that's either the wrong color or too dark. I like to dye in stages. I will take a very light pass and see, and I will just darken as I go a little bit. You have to be careful doing that too, because the fabric will only take so much dye before it just rejects the dye altogether. So anyway, that's that. And then I have the King Arkletiel piece of armor, and this piece is what I call a base unit, and we'll be modifying this quite a bit. And by the time you see it on film, it probably will not look like this. The buckles will be removed and some other pieces will be added to it. So that's that, and then I will go put this on and kind of show you what it looks like all put together. Alright, so this is the King Arkletiel costume. You will notice that I actually added a fourth layer. I have an under piece to the tunic, the armor, and the cape. I'm really happy with how this has turned out, or turning out. We're not finished with it. We have other pieces we have to add. The cape's got to be modified and brought down to snaps here. The leather straps have got to be cut down and modified. But other than that, this is the costume. And hope you've enjoyed watching this. We will be back to talk more about costumes and props and sets and the movie later. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.